as Atom holders, need to try a lot of different things. What we've done is we open sourced a lot of components and made the best software in the world that happens to be free to use, and that's IBC. So if you go look out there, there's 10, 20, 30 projects that are building bridges. They've raised huge rounds, and they've each got sort of value accrual and lock-in built into their bridging technologies. What we've built with IBC is actually fundamentally better than all of those other protocols, and it's free. So we've essentially paved this entire interoperability market, and we've said no one is going to make money on this. Now we need to figure out how to grab value on top of this. This is a classic strategy in open source software. People have been doing this for a long time. But what you can't do is you can't a priori say, this is how we're going to make money on top of this thing because I know how the future is going to work out. When you go and pave a market like that, it's often impossible to understand what innovation is going to happen on top of that market before you go in and pave it. And where we are right now is IBC has clearly won. A lot of other chains are starting to do IBC integrations. And what I see right now is this huge light and this huge like explosion of IBC based chains here coming up with, you know, all of the Cosmos chains that everyone's excited about launching and then hooking into these other ecosystems. And what we need to build on top of that is these sort of like very advanced automated user experiences taking advantage of this asynchronous interoperability. And this is how blockchains are going to scale. But what I don't think we can know is whether or not something like shared security is going to drive enough value to Atom holders. I think what we need to do is have a number of experiments. We need to have a number of ways in which Atom holders can derive value from this incredibly valuable network we've created, this public good that we have created as Atom holders. So shared security is one prong of the white paper. The allocator, i.e. a way to programmatically invest from the treasury or the community pool into projects building on top of this IBC ecosystem, is another. The scheduler, a way to sort of hook in and provide this very valuable service where you're selling block space on many different chains. And, you know, I think that one's this really kind of far out there one that's hard to envision, but this allows you to have best execution across many different chains. So let's say you want to execute a trade on Osmosis at the same time you execute a trade over on DYDX. That's what the scheduler allows. And those features are really valuable to power users. And this sort of gets to that MEV thing that's happening. And there's a lot of value to be derived from that. So that's another tentpole. And then one thing that I have contributed to the white paper that I've been working on for a long time is this chain naming service thing. Denis Fadeev, who left the Ignite team and is now at Strangelove, he's working on building the chain naming service. This is a way for the hub to offer this service to the rest of the IBC chains that essentially like certifies that those chains are not scam chains. It's, you know, when you type in your browser and you go to google.com and there's the little green lock that pops up next to Google, that's kind of like TLS. And chain naming service is going to be like TLS for Cosmos chains. And with those four different things, we've got a much better chance of Atom accruing long-term value and continuing to command this monetary premium within the Cosmos ecosystem. If we put all of our eggs in the interchain security basket, which was frankly the plan, oh, and then not to mention the liquid staking pieces and sort of all of the economic changes that come with that. Prior to this, the plan was, let's just do interchain security and let's not do anything else. And I think that is essentially driving us off a cliff if we pick that route. And it almost guarantees failure, because if interchain security fails to live up to these sky high expectations, that one feature, then the whole project's screwed. And the Atom 2.0 vision gives us a much cleaner path where if one of these things ends up not working out, the others can pick up the revenue. And it allows us to build this solid developer base of folks that are dedicated to working on the hub, where newer features and more features will be easier and easier to come up with moving forward. So, you know, I think that the Atom One folks and some of the hub minimalist folks, like, I really understand where you're coming from. I hope we can get some good ideas out of it. But, you know, in my mind, we need a lot of features to compete out there. So anyway.
Yeah.